The small town of Willow Creek woke slowly, as it always did. Mist hung low over the fields, curling like soft breath around the old oak trees. The air smelled of damp earth and pine. In the heart of the town, a modest community hall stood, its wooden walls weathered but warm, glowing faintly under the morning sun. Inside, chairs were arranged in neat rows, waiting for the evening's town meeting. The hall was quiet now, save for the faint creak of floorboards under Irina's careful steps. Irina, a young woman with kind eyes and a quiet presence, had lived in Willow Creek all her life. Her days were simple, tending to her garden, helping neighbors, and listening to the hum of the town. But lately, a heaviness settled over her. The town was divided. A developer wanted to tear down the old oak grove to build a shopping center. Some saw progress, others saw loss. Irina felt caught in the middle, her heart aching for the trees she'd climbed as a child, yet understanding the need for jobs. She wanted to speak at the meeting, to say something that mattered, but her voice felt small, like a whisper in a storm. She paused by the hall's window, her fingers tracing the cool glass. Outside, the oaks stood tall, their branches swaying gently. Irina remembered her grandmother's stories, told under those trees, tales of courage, of people who spoke when silence was easier. Words can carry weight, Irina, her grandmother had said. But only if you let them. Irina sighed. She wasn't sure her words could carry anything at all. The day passed slowly. Irina walked home, her boots crunching on gravel. Her small house smelled of lavender and bread, but the comfort felt fleeting. She sat at her kitchen table, a notebook open before her. She tried to write what she'd say at the meeting, but the pen felt heavy. What if no one listened? What if her voice shook? The clock ticked softly, each second a reminder of the hours slipping away. By evening, the hall was full. Neighbors greeted each other with tight smiles, their voices low. Irina sat near the back, her hands clasped tightly. The mayor, a kind but tired man named Dmitri, opened the meeting. Voices rose, some sharp, others pleading. Mr. Ivanov, the grocer, spoke of new jobs. Mrs. Petrova, the librarian, spoke of history, of roots. Irina listened, her heart racing. She wanted to stand, to speak for the oaks, for the memories they held, but fear anchored her to her seat. Then, a pause. The room grew still. Dmitri's eyes scanned the crowd. Anyone else? He asked, his voice gentle but firm. Irina's breath caught. Her grandmother's words echoed in her mind. She felt the weight of the moment, the weight of her silence. Slowly, she stood. Her legs trembled, but she stepped forward, her footsteps soft against the wooden floor. I'm Irina, she began, her voice barely above a whisper. The room turned to her, eyes curious, some skeptical. She swallowed, her throat dry. I don't have much to say. I'm not good with words like some of you. But those oaks, she paused, picturing the trees, their branches like arms reaching for the sky. They're more than trees. They're where I played with my friends, where my grandmother told me stories. They're part of us. If we lose them, we lose something we can't get back. Her voice grew steadier, warmer. I know we need jobs. I know times are hard. But maybe there's another way. Maybe we can find a place for the new without destroying the old. She stopped, her cheeks warm, her heart pounding. The room was quiet, but it wasn't empty. It was the kind of quiet that felt alive, like the moment before a sunrise. Then, a gentle twist unfolded. Mrs. Petrova stood, her eyes bright. Irina's right, she said. There's land just outside town, empty, ready for building. Why not? There, whispers spread, soft at first, then louder. Mr. Ivanov nodded slowly. I didn't know about that land, he admitted. Others joined in, ideas flowing like a river finding its course. The developer, a stern man in a gray suit, shifted in his seat, but even he listened. Irina sat down, her hands still shaking but her heart lighter. She hadn't planned to spark a solution, only to speak her truth. Yet her words, small as they felt, had stirred something. The meeting stretched on, voices weaving together, no longer sharp but searching. By the end, a plan formed. The shopping center would move to the empty land. The oaks would stay. As Irina walked home under the stars, the air cool against her skin, she felt a quiet pride. The oaks stood silhouetted against the night sky, their branches swaying as if in thanks. She thought of her grandmother, of the stories that had shaped her. Irina's voice, once so small, had carried weight after all. Not because it was loud, but because it was true. The town would change, as towns do. But the oaks would remain, and so would the memory of this night, When Irina, trembling but brave, found her place in the heart of Willow Creek.